How's it going, guys? Anfield here. Welcome back to another subscriber replay. Today's replay review, we're going to be looking at PheenX playing in his Waffle 4. And yeah, so I haven't done one of these in a long time, as you will have noticed. And the reason for that is I've just had so much other content to make that these sort of got put on the back burner for a little while. But, you know, I figured, okay, you know, it's been a while. I need to go do one. So I had a look at my emails, and I did have a lot of replays. Unfortunately, though, this was the only one that was actually not a subtle brag replay, and I found that really disappointing. You know, the premise and the idea of this, of course, is to take bad or mediocre games and see what can be improved about those games, or what could be done differently, perhaps something that the player may have missed, or things like that. I mean, everyone has these games. Everyone has these games, you know, much worse games. So it's a little disappointing that this was the only one of what I thought I was clear about what I was looking for. And I do appreciate you guys want to show off your best games. I get that. And I know some of you tried to say, oh, well, I did 7,000 damage, sure, but, you know, I made mistakes. And it's actually true that, of course, even the best replays, generally there's a mistake or two in there, depending on, well, generally depending on the player level, I suppose. But nonetheless, it's not really what I'm looking for, guys. And I mean, some people just sent in replays that they're like their absolute best games ever, because I guess they didn't watch the video at all. But they did see that I'd uploaded subscriber replays and thought, oh, cool, I can go show off my replay. So I think this will probably be the last one of this type, just because I'm just not getting enough of them, and people just seem to be much more interested in sending their best replays, which I do understand that. You know, I know you want to show off your best replays, and it's harder to have something like, you know, a mediocre game uploaded to YouTube and have people in YouTube be ridiculed or whatever, which I hope none of you guys do. But nonetheless, yeah, it'll probably be the last one of these types, which I think is a shame. And I'll let you guys know when I maybe do some show off, so to speak, replays. So I have seen the first 2 minutes of this, and I knew that he did a bit of initial driving around, and it's a slow tank destroyer, so I knew I had time to talk about that. So I hope PheenX forgives me. But let's actually get into the replay now, because, you know, we do need to discuss what's going on, even though it's a Waffle 4 and it's obviously going to be a slow developing battle. He is on Sand River Assault, and he's on defense, which is the nice side, basically. Super broken, super OP. You'll have seen it in recent replays, how I've talked about this map. But yeah, it's very powerful. Now, he is in a Waffle 4, though, and not in a TD or a medium, which is obviously what I typically play now. And so he can't really take the middle position, which is really strong. So, you know, he's too slow and he's too thinly armored to be able to handle that sort of position. But he can surf on this mid-line, excuse me, and he has gotten a shot on a Type 4 heavy, I believe. And, you know, that's nice bit of damage. But what's important as a tank destroyer, and what I see not a lot of tank destroyers do, is they don't really check. Oh, we might get a shot on the C-54 here. Yeah, should be. Yep, nice shot. They don't really flex around too much. Now, admittedly, on this map, you don't have to do it a great deal, but a lot of TDs do sit in one position the entire game. And it's even worse when they sit in positions and they have no shots until their teammates are dead, which is a little frustrating for me when I'm dealing with TDs. So you see two Waffle 4s here trying to get some snipes. See if we can get that low. Nope. Yeah, so it's going to be sort of a... This is actually kind of funny looking at that. It's going to be a bit of a trying of patience, I guess. But what I would say is, to be honest with you, I would be moving over to the 9-0 line. I don't think there's anything wrong with this initial position. I think it's really good. I think you get some initial shots, and on a better day, you punish the Leopard PT8 a little bit more. But ultimately, you do, I think, at this point, need to be moving over to the 9-0 line, and that's to handle the mouse that's pushing over there. It's lots of damage. You can clear the mouse very easily. There are lots of positions where you can poke on the mouse, get a quick snap, and then, you know, pull back down. Maybe the T-54 is going to come too far over. Yep. Another shot on the T-54. So pretty nice there, but you're at risk of losing map control, and you can see your teammates aren't doing so hot, which is obviously a little bit more problematic. Oh, maybe didn't need to rush the shot so much, but yeah, it's a little bit problematic because you now are, I think that's a Skoda down there with the mouse as well. You're losing the 9-0, which means the map control that's gifted to this side is beginning to dwindle. So yeah, I would definitely have been moving over to the 9-0 line to go deal with that. I know you're a tank destroyer, but definitely need to flex around the map because your gun has to be in the game at all times. And you're not always going to get shots. It's impossible to have every game where you're going to get constant shots, but you do have to look for not only maintaining map control, but also some damage. So you can see how the mouse is beginning to move up. The Skoda is dealt with the last defender. That's a nice shot. Poor T-54, man. I don't know why he continually poked, but yeah, you definitely need to go over and help those guys. You do... Okay, you're looking at the Skoda now, but the only problem is I think it's getting a little bit too late. You're going to lose that 50B in the middle because they have 9-0 control, which means that they were able to collapse on your allied 50B there. So he's completely isolated in the middle. He will not last very long in there whatsoever. I definitely think now is the time, though. You do definitely need to be moving over there to deal with the Skoda and pull around the mouse. If you can regain a little bit of map control, the map can still be won. The problem is now it's going to be really super difficult, and this is risky. Ooh. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge now from this position. This is the problem with actually reviewing Tank Destroyer replays. It's sort of the same with Herpaderps. It's not a great deal of move. Aren't you still lit? Oh, that was close. Yeah, it's difficult with these types of replays. If you're not going to go deal with the Skoda and the mouse, I would actually dive over and go handle the other tanks, purely because they're just going to come in front of you and farm your allies. Once those tanks get up to this ridge line here, your allies are going to be exposed, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it to save them. So I would maybe get ready to take an initial shot or do something. I mean, at this point, I don't see how you could win. They have too much map control, too many hit points in the game, and you don't have any armor to work with or any speed. Oh, that's a shame you don't get that Borsig out. Yeah, I think that's the big problem here, although it's a one-shottable bat shot. You definitely could have got that. That's a shame. Yeah, so I think in this case, this replay comes down to maybe a little bit of inactivity, PheenX. I think ultimately, you know, you got a little bit unlucky on some shots, but, you know, and your teammates maybe could have done a better job for sure, but ultimately, you know, you have to be active about keeping your gun in the game as well. Yeah, so here we go. Your teammates are going to get farmed from these guys, and you can't really do anything unless the Batshot YOLO's after you anyway. Alrighty, Batshot, you do you. But yeah, unfortunately, game over here. Borsig with the big gun, Ripperinos. Yeah, it's a real shame, because I think that all it comes down to was maybe not going over to help the 9-0 line. We may not have won anyway, despite the defense being so heavily stacked, but the mouse and the Skoda being able to push up the 9-0 was a big aspect to this battle. So I think this just comes down to a little bit of awareness of the minimap, just having a look and maybe flexing over. I know you're not the fastest tank in the world, so I definitely understand the ideal of being static, but I do really appreciate you sending the replay. I'm sorry I couldn't really be much more help. It's difficult with tank destroyers because they're so very slow, most of them, or at least, you know, Jagdtiger and Waffle 4 aren't very quick. So a lot of it is a lot of static gameplay, so there isn't always much to comment on exactly. But those are probably the things I would have done slightly different. But thanks again, PheenX, for sending in the replay. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry about the little bit of a lecture at the beginning, but I just wanted to let you guys sort of know where I was coming from on this. And I hope you can kind of appreciate it from my point of view, because I was really hyped about being able to do these, and I thought it was going to be a great idea. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, but I'll let you guys know if I do some show-off replays, or maybe funny replays where something funny happens in them, or something like that. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video.